John 21:15, and it reads, when they had finished eating, Jesus said to Simon Peter, Simon, whose father's name was the word John or Jonah. So Jesus knew about John, and it is not John the Baptist. Conversation here was, do you love me more than this? I'm assuming Peter did not understand probably the weight of the matter. Of course, he had already matured. He had been with Jesus long enough. He had denied him. He had, fallen and all those things. But he says, do you love me more than this? So love must be compared to something. You can't love in a vacuum. Love is comparable. So you see God saying, for God so loved the world that he gave. You see that comparison? That his love is compared to what he's giving. Can't love in a vacuum. So Peter answered and says, Lord, yes, Lord. He said, you know. Same context of where it was said, can these dry bones live? And then he says, only you know. So Peter told him, you know that I love you. So his love for Jesus, Peter is telling Jesus, you check my heart and try my thoughts. And then Jesus said, feed my sheep. The comparison of your love for Jesus will be predominantly determinant on the treatment of the sheep. You cannot say that you love Jesus and you do not feed the sheep. So Jesus says that I'm going to know that you love me by feeding my sheep. Don't you think that, are you listening? Don't you think that a God who knows what love is, he can compare it to feeding his sheep? Think about the gold. Think about the silver. Think about cattle on 1,000 hills. He compares the love that Peter have. He says, this is how you will know. Feed my sheep. The original word there for feed is not mouth-based, but in the original context is write my laws in their heart. That's the word, feed my sheep. Reveal me to them. It was such a heavy matter, and I know you are standing, bear with me. It was such a heavy issue that it required 3 repetitions. When you are in school, there is a word we read in Swahili. I might not have, maybe you will let me know the English version. It's kusisitiza. Do you remember? What's kusisitiza? Yeah. So it is such an important thing that you can imagine an all-knowing God. Why not say once? You are all-knowing. Why would you insist on this matter? Because I hope you know Jesus is about to exit. So he's transferring ministry. You need to understand the difference. He's transferring the ministry. That Jesus was now the one feeding. He showed us with the 4,000. He showed us with the 5,000, with 2 fish and 5 loaves. Spiritually speaking, he showed us that he's the bread of life. And he's the one that has been feeding for all those, 3.5 years probably. And then of all the people, he brings on board Peter, and he tells Peter, just feed my sheep. So it was such a heavy matter to Jesus, and we cannot neglect the emphasis of that word. Again, Jesus said to Simon Peter, do you love me? He didn't say, do you want to be rich? In the exit ministry of Jesus, the foundation, the end of his ministry was rooted in love. Of course, you understand that the three foundations of heaven, there is faith, there is hope, and there is love. And then Jesus goes ahead and puts them in an exam room. He says, if you put faith in an exam, it will produce probably 60%. If you examine hope, it will produce 80%. But he goes ahead and he says the greatest. So he's comparing the three of them. And in his view, he says that the greatest of this is love. So we need to really check what is love, because he answered, yes, Lord, you know that I love you. Jesus said, again, take care. So there is feed, and then there is taking care. Do you remember guard your heart? Huh? For out of it flows the issues of. So the responsibility again was transferred. Not only that he should feed, he should again take care of the people. Whether you call it feeding, whatever, just however you look at it. And then the third time, I'm done now. He says the third time. Now, when you are reading the scripture, I want you to know that God is not a man. Why would Jesus emphasize? I mean, of all the things, because he took the space of faith, right? The three, hope and love. Notice the third time. So he should have first started with what? Faith. Peter, do you love me? Have faith in my sheep. Peter, do you love me? Hope the best. Do you understand? And then Peter, do you love me? Love. But he ignored the two elements and he stuck on the greatest of them. That the greatest among this is what? Love. He insisted again that Peter, if you're going to do ministry, my foundation, the reason for the healing, the reason for the taking care, the reason for the miracles, the crusades, if you miss the element called what? Love, it's all in vain. When God comes and sees we have built an auditorium, he doesn't look at what you see. He doesn't look at the ceiling. He doesn't look at the walls. God immediately goes to the what? The foundation. And any building that's not founded. Do you remember, even though I speak tongues of men and I speak tongues of angels and have no love, I am like a sounding gong. So love is the glue that holds heaven. God without love is wickedness. Our God is wicked if there is no love. So even when he chastens, there has to be love. Are you? Understand? Even when God strikes you, there is no hate in that strike. If God goes against love, even Sodom and Gomorrah going down, there is love. Are you understanding that? So, because of that, I would like us to look at the following videos that I took some time to. And then I will explain where the Church of Jesus Christ is failing. Because we are really failing. We are failing to, we have found other ways to keep the sheep. And I can tell you, brothers and sisters, whether you speak tongues of men, whether you come here and roll down and speak tongues of angels, whether you heal, you are the healer of healers.
You love the world and you want to see a better world. Your interest is not just free Palestine. I mean, there are more people dying in Nigeria than are dying in Palestine. I can tell you that last year alone, over 500,000 Christians were killed in Nigeria just in 1 year. And nobody's protesting. The activists are not saying anything. For me, that's hypocrisy. In the north of Nigeria, Christians are being killed daily because the Islamic militants don't want Christians to exist in the north of Nigeria. They want to see a world where there are no Christians at all. And they want to conquer not just Nigeria, they want to conquer Africa, they want to conquer Europe, and they want to conquer America. The younger generation who want to live in a better world must speak out today. And I'm calling on all advocates of a free world.
At least 140 people massacred in Nigeria over the holiday weekend, reportedly by armed Fulani herdsmen who frequently target Christians for their faith. Church pastors were killed and hundreds of houses were destroyed. One resident told reporters Muslim terrorists attacked Christian villages on Saturday and continued their attacks through Christmas Day.
ISIS executed 21 Egyptian Christians in February. While the horrible video led to worldwide outrage, some families are happy that the martyrs kept their faith. And as Gary Lane found out, they're ready to forgive.
We were very happy with what they said on the video. Jesus Christ, have mercy on us. When we found out they had been killed for being Christian, we were very comforted because these were God's children and He took them.
His family told CBN News their faith is stronger. They forgive the jihadists and even pray for ISIS.
I pray for them that God may open their hearts and they may know the truth and know that what they do is wrong and then do the right thing. Jesus told us to forgive every sin, and we forgive them, and we hope that they can come to know Jesus.
Islamic extremists on Christmas Eve resulted in more than 170 believers killed and over 10,000 displaced. Those who escaped are now taking shelter in schools and churches. One survivor told us, "People hid, but the assailants captured many of us. Some were killed, others were wounded." Our partners on the ground have let us know that these deadly attacks have created a critical need for ongoing emergency relief. Please join us in urgent prayer for our persecuted family in Nigeria today.
Brothers and sisters, it's amazing how the biggest pastors are from Nigeria, yet the most Christian murders. Did you see that person? How did 500,000? That's just one person saying. How did it happen in 1 year? Then the question is, why are you even leaving the country to go for a conference outside?
I mean, there are more people dying in Nigeria than are dying in Palestine. I can tell you that last year alone, over 500,000 Christians were killed in Nigeria just in 1 year. And nobody's protesting. The activists are not saying anything. For me, that's hypocrisy. In the north of Nigeria, Christians are being killed daily because the Islamic militants don't want Christians to exist in the north of Nigeria. They want to see a world where there are no Christians at all. And they want to conquer not just Nigeria, they want to conquer Africa, they want to conquer Europe, and they want to conquer America. The younger generation who want to live in a better world must speak out today.
How did 500,000 people die at the point you having the biggest churches globally? You know, one of the problems I hate with the structures of the ministries, if all genuine ministers of the gospel come together and not just meet over cup, even our meetings are more expensive than the amount of money we use to go for crusade. Why do you need to meet for tea? Don't you have tea in your house? How do we boast at 500 that we are the biggest church? Let me ask you a question. What is this Fulani? What is this thing? That no government can stop it. And before you accuse, oh Bishop, you are the one that doesn't understand. I'm not talking to carnal mind. Spiritual people can understand what I'm saying. What is this Fulani group, Sijui herdsmen, that a whole government with weapons and guns cannot end them? What is it? The other day, children woke up, open school in America. Did you see? They were massacred inside a mass. They were having a mass. Kids. What is this thing that America keeps arguing about guns law and what? What is so hard for you to see? You are killing your future. How do we keep our future? Reduce the sale of guns. Revoke all people that have guns illegally. 1, 2. Let there be a standard for owning a gun. But you see, we argue over stupid things. My heart breaks when I see these things. How did 500,000 people? I want to challenge all preachers in Nigeria. You claim to have the biggest churches. How could these things happen? Why can't you want to tell me these groups are too? How can you? I don't know if you've shown the one where people are running. There's one where they came and people started running. It's like, forget the one you are showing on the streets. There is one whereby it's like a village and people are running. Media, can you find that video? People are running. You could hear the gunshot. Ta, 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 ta. But we are boasting that it's a revival. Go to China. Remember when I showed you about the verse? You see? Go to the UK. That now they have banned. I saw someone saying, even if the government thinks you are praying, the government maybe you are standing waiting for a matatu, and the government perceives you are praying, and this is how you are doing it. Kuja. You forget that America was founded on the principles of our founding fathers that believed in the books like Leviticus. Go study Deuteronomy. In God we trust. I can show you where they found all those things. I have studied these things. I'm not just speaking ignorantly. How could people die in Congo and we are claiming that we are East African community? Are you telling me presidents of East Africa cannot come together? You people want war because that's where you sell your weapons. You are bad people. That now if you are going on a mission for anything about Jesus and they see you are radical, the chances of you getting a visa, and then they will lie. How could a nation where even to appoint the king, they need to go inside is it the Catholic, the church? But now to pray is a problem. Me, I'm still asking. They have the law and the prophets, or rather, in this end time, he has spoken to us through Jesus. How could some things happen and we are quiet? I shouted. Now there are people speaking against pastors, speaking against the church. I can't feel anything bad because we brought them to that place. You know, when you we have made a monster, we have created a monster. Now when the monster is coming to attack us, do you remember when I spoke about we should regulate ourselves? Do you remember?
At least 140 people massacred in Nigeria over the holiday weekend, reportedly by armed Fulani herdsmen who frequently target Christians for their faith. Church pastors were killed and hundreds of houses were destroyed.
Now, I don't know who that is, but in such a situation, he feels people want to say hello. You know, we are just in a funny... Africa is a... Okay, hata amujaona nini nasema. You know, politics is just politics to people. Because according to them, every opportunity is an opportunity to harness vote. Just imagine, me, if I'm entering here and I'm a leader, I have no business saying hello to you. Ati. Alafu sisi wajinga tu, because Africans, we are like fools. He feels that this is the time, like he has come as you are a failure. Whoever this man is, he has failed. And then what shocks me, in such places where people are killed, look at the mafia, look at the man there. You see the man in black. You see, they have protection. If you need to be like a normal Nigerian, enter without protection. Where we enter, pigana na watu don't have police. Why are you going with police if the place is safe? And then they'll come and politicize something. Oh, you know, the nation iko sawa. And then we'll just do some little politics around there, play with our souls, and then we go. And we claim that the biggest pastors are from this land. It's such a shame that a pastor would leave that nation. And I know you always have an answer. Oh, the Bible says go into the world. That Nigeria is part of the world. Start with Nigeria. We are missing the point, brothers and sisters. And then you know what we're arguing about in church? Foolish things. The people that God should be using. They hate one another. They lie. They steal. They just do bad things against one another. They want to blot out Christianity. I've seen it not just from the death of major people. They want to blot out voices. I'm not shocked with any attempt they have tried on John C.W. It's just that there are things I can't say. But this thing, my prayer, one of the prayers I pray is that God, maybe you can send fire from heaven to remove all auditoriums so that we really go back to what matters. Because these ministries are messing up. As long as your church is not touched, now find the Shakahola thing. How did this video happen? How could it happen in Kenya? It's such a shame that the church was left the sheep and we cannot feed it. All these things that are happening in the world, we are failing. We are losing it. We are focused on the next big building, which is the next big auditorium, which is the next big ward, which is the next big car. It's such a shame. I believe that a preacher can be wealthy. I believe it. I also believe that a preacher should use all his wealth to change the lives of the people of God. What is ministry? This thing, when I saw it, it broke my heart. Now, umepata hiyo Shakamola kwa sababu Kenya ni wengine. Brothers and sisters, if you have an opportunity to go to a prayer mountain, God bless you. But I will equally tell you, if you are seated in your house, the Bible is clear about how prayer is displayed. Enter your room, close the door, and the Father who hears in secret rewards in public. It's not rocket science. It's not that place that makes me more anointed. That's why I've rebuked people that came. When I came to this church and I met the God of John C.W., you try that in front of me. Utakula ngumi. What are you telling the people? Stop that nonsense. You met the God of who? Who told you is my God? He's the God of all ages. With or without me is God. Stop powering ministries. Power the name of Jesus. Tell the world about Jesus. When I met the grace over this commission, who told you English is power? But I met the grace over this commission. And uko na hiyo commission yako amatai. We have made no wonder people can just. You've seen the deaths in Congo, you've seen the deaths in China. Korea is even the worst of them all. The worst. And you're just playing cute. You see, let me explain to you. You're a believer, right? You're a believer. So this is what Satan wants to do. He wants him and her to change, but you and him, it's okay. That's it, it's fine. Him and her to change, but you and him. The Bible says, how will they know unless, you know the preacher is very important, right? Unless they have been preached to, unless they have a preacher. So these two preachers, he will make you occupied fighting one another so that they can be occupied in making hell. The highest levels of politics are in the church. You know, ministries are more political than governments. To make a pope is more political than to make a president. For you to be a pope, you know a pope is in control of how many people? There is no president that has that control. Okay, maybe China, I think, or whatever, you know, the communist parties and whatever. But there's no, to be a pope, you know how many, the figures, how many people you are in control of? Don't participate in the politics of ministries. Just be a believer. And genuinely look at your heart. Am I really changing? How can people die like this and we are believers? These people that takes the herdsmen, even in Kenya, the people that take people's cows, government. Are you telling me it's hard with all your utensils to just find the people that... Kwani ni machine gun hizo wako nazo? How can people die like this and we are believers?
Almost 2 years after the chilling discovery of mass graves in what came to be known as the Shakahola massacre, new developments are raising fears that history may be repeating itself in Kilifi County. The recent arrest of a couple from Siaya County, both of whom were rescued during the 2023 operation, and a report of their 6 children missing, has revived the haunting echo. Development comes as investigators probe the possibility of underground networks still recruiting and indoctrinating vulnerable followers, despite a national outcry and a government crackdown.
We have been told those ambao wameshtakiwa ambao wako katika shimo la tewa wana regroup na wanaendelea na mafunzo yao kuendeleza kuregroup ama kuwaleta Wakenya wengine waendelee na itikadi kali hii ambao walikuwa wako nayo.
Ninaomba serikali hii mambo ya Shakahola ikapate kuisha kabisa na isiendelee tena, kwa sababu ninaona huyu ndugu yangu alitoka ile mara ya kwanza, tena amerudi mara ya pili, kumaanisha bado watu wanaendelea kujigroup kwa huko msituni.
The Shakahola massacre, which was linked to cultism, claimed more than 400 lives. Emily Chebet, Citizen TV.
Now, what is even shocking is that people have lost hope in the church. The church, or rather the ministry is where the problem started, but people are calling on the government. Peter, do you love me? It is our responsibility to feed the sheep. The quality of the sheep is the quality of the shepherd. The shepherd depends on the sheep's quality to prove his capacity. Do you understand that? So if you are seated here listening to me and you are not becoming, please Sunday, don't come again. Just don't come. I do not play games with quality. There's something called KEBS. What does that mean? Kenya Bureau of. In my view, I call it Kingdom Bureau of Standards. You see, your life, heaven counts on your life to display the reality of the kingdom. These problems can end if the church can understand its assignment. We are not here to be rich. We are here to be effective. And so I appeal to the Church of Jesus Christ globally. To pretend you are winning because 5,000 people are coming to your church, you have not won anything. Let me explain what kingdom is. Kingdom is more territorial than a building. If Moranga did not change when I came, I did nothing. If the gospel did not change when I came, I did nothing. Influence is a kingdom's priority. That's why Rome extended to the highest, the greatest places you can think of because of influence. A kingdom is influential. The goal is to influence a foreign people to reason as though they are originals, even though they are adopted. So the kingdom of heaven's goal is to bring you as an adopted son and to begin to teach you to reason as an in-house son, so that eventually we can't tell, because there is neither Jew nor Gentile. But when I look at these sad stories, it's such a shame. It will not be an issue in Africa if 500,000 people die. Because why? The media will not project it. You know what they will project? Free Palestine. Then what is my concept even with Palestine? I believe in make the world a godly place. Free everyone. He who the Son sets free is free. And the only way to set people free is not government. Governments, hear me, you are not the way to set people free. Let me explain to you. More guns and more weapons means more death. The only way to set people free is the Son. So when a nation fights Jesus, or rather the gospel about the kingdom of God, you are fighting yourself, because your nation will never be stable. Are you hearing me?